Good morning, everybody. I was recently approached by BougeRV with the opportunity to review a couple products, and in this video we'll be taking a close look at the upgraded VIP version of the CRPRO 30 12-volt car fridge freezer with the battery. My understanding is that the VIP version has more thermal insulation compared to the non-VIP version. This will be more of an initial impression as opposed to a full review since I've only had it for a couple weeks so far. In this video, we will do an unboxing. We'll take a detailed look at the features of this fridge, and then we'll power it up and give it a little test. Also, they did give me a discount code, so the code and the links to the product will be in the description as well. All right, let's get into the unboxing. The small box is the battery, there's an instruction manual, and then there is the battery. It's a compact 220 watt-hour battery. We'll take a closer look at it later. It comes with two cords, a car charger, and a USB-C to USB-C cable. Now let's open up the fridge box. Inside the fridge is the box of accessories. We've got the DC plug for the battery. We've got an AC wall plug. And then we've got a longer DC car plug. That's about it. This is a little storage box designed for the battery to fit in. As we open up the fridge, it comes with a removable divider. Here's the battery compartment again. Perfect fit. It's got a spot for the cord to stick out as well. And then on the side, a bottle opener. Lastly, on the other side, the spot for the plug. Let's start with the battery. First off, you do not need this battery, but the fridge itself does not have its own power source, so it's possible that this battery is the easiest way to supply power to the fridge, especially overnight. The battery is quite small, measuring in at about 7 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches and only weighs 3.3 pounds. Not bad for a 220 watt-hour battery. It has a little screen that will display current battery percentage remaining and current input and output wattage. It's essentially just a 220 watt-hour power station, but it was well designed to fit perfectly in this fridge. I did a test to see how long this would power the fridge with the fridge set to 37 degrees. I started last night at 4:30 p.m. with the fridge off and the battery at 89%. I checked on it around 6 p.m. and the battery was at 68%. I checked on it once more before bed at 10 p.m. and the battery was at 42%. So that's after it had cooled the fridge to 37 degrees and had been on for a total of about 5.5 hours. I left it running, but by the time I checked it at 6:30 this morning, the battery was dead. The can was still cool, but I am guessing that it had been off for at least a few hours. The FAQ on BougeRV's website says that it will power the fridge for about 6 hours, but clearly that will depend on the temperature outside. Anyways, the ports and buttons are all on this side. This would be to charge the battery via the included DC car charger. It's also compatible to charge with solar. This is a DC 7909 connector, and I don't currently have the solar adapter for that. But the battery does support pass-through charging, so you can power the fridge with this battery while charging the battery, and that does work for solar charging. It's got USB-C for input or output. The USB-A is for output only, so for charging your devices. It even has a light with 2 settings of brightness and an SOS setting. Then, most importantly, it's got the cigarette lighter port or DC output, so this is where you'd plug in for powering the fridge. Like I said, you don't need this battery to power it, but without it, you'll just have to figure out how you want to power the fridge. I plan on using this battery in conjunction with solar and then also a larger portable power station if needed. All right, now I'm going to put the battery in the fridge and let's take a closer look at the fridge. First of all, the dimensions. The fridge exterior is 16.2 inches tall by 23 inches wide by 12.5 inches deep. The fridge interior space is 13 inches tall, 13.8 inches wide, and 9.8 inches deep. And just to be thorough, the dimensions of the storage box or battery box are 4 inches tall, 8.8 inches long, and 2.8 inches wide. The fridge weighs in at 27 pounds. So to turn on the fridge, just press the power button and the screen will light up. The temperature can be set anywhere from -8 degrees to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna set it to 37 degrees. I'm also gonna just put a few things in here so it's actually cooling something. Let's take a look at the display. The screen is gonna display the fridge's temperature. This is the battery protection setting. So if you're powering the fridge with your car battery, it's recommended to set it to high. It can be on medium or low for power stations or other batteries. This will display the voltage or battery life. This snowflake will be lit up when the compressor is on and working, and this will display whether you're in max or eco mode. So to switch them, press settings and then settings again to switch. If you want to switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius, hold settings and the plus button for 3 to 5 seconds. While that's cooling, let's see what else we've got. On the front is a ventilation port, so wherever you're storing it, you're probably going to want to keep this exposed. On the left side is a bottle opener and a handle for carrying the fridge. These here, which are on each side, are safety tie-down points so you can strap the fridge to prevent it from moving around. It does not come with the straps. There's nothing too exciting on the back except it looks like another ventilation port, and again, here's the hole for the cord from the battery to stick through. Very glad they put that in there. The right side has the handle and the spot for the tie downs as well as the power outlet. And then the top, this was probably textured to help prevent stuff from sliding off. And then 4 spots to place cups. And then of course, as we've already seen, the battery compartment and the screen. As we look inside once again, it does have the interior light here on the right side, the removable divider right here in the middle, and of course this is the 30-quart cooler. It should be able to fit 12 bottles of wine, 40 12-ounce cans, and 6 2-liter soda bottles. And then as we close the lid, it does feel like it'll have no problem staying shut. So at this point, I've now had it running for about 30 minutes. The temperature was at 59 degrees when I turned it on, and it's now at 34 degrees. Not bad. And in case you're wondering why is it below 37 degrees, I think when you set it to a certain temperature, it goes a little bit less than that, so it can maintain the temperature that you set it at. And before I wrap this video up, I'm just gonna give you some of my initial thoughts and impressions. So like I said before, I haven't had it long enough to put it through the full test of camping, but here are a few things that I've noticed that I want to mention. Right now it's filled with 20 cans of seltzer, and here's how I do putting it into my truck bed and in the cab by myself. With the cans and the battery, this should be weighing in at approximately 50 pounds. Not too bad. I read in the manual that it can operate with up to a 30-degree incline. I know some of the fridge compressors will not handle an incline like that, so that could be great if you're off-roading, or in my case, where I've got the deck drawers in my truck bed for when I'm pulling it out. In eco mode, when the compressor is running, it pulls an average of about 35 watts and an average about 45 watts in max mode. In terms of how noisy is it, I don't have a decibel meter to test it out, but it is advertised as up to 45 decibels. I will just say that it seems pretty quiet. I asked ChatGPT what sounds are around 45 decibels, and it compared it to a quiet library, light rainfall, and a bird chirping softly. I mean, overall, my initial impression is positive. There's nothing negative that would have stood out to me. I mean, it works, so that's a good start. I think it's a great size, and I absolutely love the option for the battery, and especially that it has the built-in battery compartment. I think there can be a lot of situations where it's hard to find continuous power for a car fridge, so having that battery, in my opinion, is essential. At one point in my testing, I plugged the battery into the fridge, and then the fridge wouldn't turn on, and I realized it was just because I forgot to turn the power to the battery on. So if that does happen to you, just make sure that you turn on the power to the battery before trying to turn on the fridge. And then in terms of the size, if you're switching over from a cooler that requires ice, just keep in mind that you no longer need ice. So you might either be able to go a size smaller, or if you go with the same size as what your cooler was, you'll be able to fit a little bit more in there. I can't think of anything else at this point. If you do have any questions, please leave a comment below and I will do my best to answer. Again, in the description below, I do have links for this fridge as well as a discount code from BougeRV. If you did find this video helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time. This video is not affiliated with or sponsored by 𝘭𝘪𝘯𝘬𝘴.